Hello friends, we continue to follow what's happening in Polish society, from passport reforms for Ukrainians to high-profile court cases. Let's talk about the passport service, the new media fee that will be replaced by a tax, the shutdown of the casino network, and geopolitics. In short, there's a lot of news. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Friends, there are codes there that's worth a like. Now let's get down to business. Logistical maneuver. Yes, the passport service is tightening the screws. Urgent news for those who need to update their documents. Starting from June 16, 2022, the passport services in Warsaw and Wrocław are completely changing the way they operate. No more chaos, storming offices, informal arrangements, or walk-in lines. From now on, document submissions will be accepted by appointment only through the online system. The organizers' intention is clear. They want to increase comfort and eliminate these long hours of waiting at the doors. So, you'll have to plan your visit in advance through the official website. However, for two procedures, the old familiar ways remain. You can still get an apostille or pick up your already printed passport without a prior appointment. By the way, if you received a Ukrainian passport in Poland, let us know in the comments how long the whole process took. Next, we have a new media tax for everyone starting from 2027. This is a large-scale reform that the Polish authorities are preparing us for in the medium term. Starting January 1, 2027, they will completely eliminate the archaic subscription fee for radio and television. Damn, I never even watched TV. I spent 10 years in Poland without watching TV. Don't celebrate yet. It's being replaced by a new, more effective audiovisual fee. Quite an idea, huh? The core of this scheme is simple: total coverage. Now the government absolutely doesn't care whether you have your grandfather's radio at home or a plasma TV hanging on your wall. The tax is tied not to the equipment, but to the very fact that you simply exist as a taxpayer. Next, automatic fee collection. The money will be automatically withdrawn right when you file your annual PID tax declaration. That's what they've come up with. So you wanted time to think and transfer the money yourself? No, we'll just take everything from you now. Next, the rate schedule. They plan to lower the rate to 8 or 9 zlotys per month, because for TV, I think people are paying 30 a month right now. But of course, this fee will be indexed for inflation. There's only one advantage here. Employees of the Polish Post won't have to go around apartments checking and looking for unregistered TVs. In short, the checks are going digital. Alright, next we have some news. Well, Ukrainians. How could we go without mentioning Ukrainians? Operation Hazard 26, an underground casino network, was busted in Warsaw. Polish law enforcement continues to protect the capital from illegal businesses, and now we're entering a large-scale 3-day special operation, Hazard 26, as I already mentioned. Officers of the capital's police command, the tax service, the National Revenue Administration, and various special forces. Anti-terrorist units struck at the underground gambling industry. Law enforcement conducted 21 searches in Warsaw, Pruszków, and Nowy Dwór Mazowiecki. The establishments disguised themselves as legal businesses, but behind closed doors there were fully equipped halls of so-called hotspot venues. Honestly, I don't know what that is. Well, but I'm just not a gambling person. The results of the raid are impressive. They seized 99 slot machines. They're worth about 1.5 to 1.6 million zlotys. They also confiscated cash, 117,000 zlotys. Honestly, to me, it just seems like a drop in the bucket. They also seized 160 grams of illegal substances, various things like marijuana and synthetic drugs. Interestingly, during the raid, 22 people were detained who acted as caretakers and administrators of the establishments. 22 people, and among them 13 were Ukrainians. Honestly, I don't get it. I really doubt they're the top of this pyramid. I think they're just low-level operatives. They don't want to work at a factory for 4,000 or 4,500. At the moment, law enforcement has charged the detainees with 19 offenses related to tax crimes and illegal drug trafficking. One of the suspects has already been placed under arrest, and the procedure for forced deportation from Poland has been initiated against the other. So, as usual, the police reminded everyone, friends, not only the organizers but also the owners of the premises face huge fines who rent out space for illegal gambling. It's your fault if you don't know what's happening in your own place. What else caught my attention, friends? Geopolitical barter, foreign ministry, MiGs traded for technology, major news from the military political elite. Deputy Minister of Defense of Poland, Mr. Cezary Tomczyk, stated Warsaw's pragmatic position directly on Radio Z. Poland has suspended the transfer of MiG-29 fighters to Kyiv and has shifted the issue to tough negotiations. The Polish side's conditions are strictly business. The planes will only be sent once there is an agreement on the exchange of military technologies. Specifically, dear Ukrainians, our friends and brothers, we are talking about developments in the field of unmanned aerial vehicles. The Poles note that they are currently actively developing their own drone industry, and they are in great need of advanced experience gained during real air operations. As they say, friendship is friendship, but defense and technology are another matter. It would be interesting, of course, if someone responds to them. Maybe Budanov or Zelensky saying, friends, come to us in Konstantinovka. There you'll get that kind of experience. Such a wonderful experience that you might not even feel like it afterward. Well, of course, that's a philosophical question. Should we blame the Poles for not giving planes while Ukrainians are shedding blood in Donbass? Write in the comments what you think. So, moving on, friends, we have another interesting piece of news. A verdict has been delivered in a high-profile case in Warsaw. The trial ended in June of 2026. We're talking about the trial of the former professional MMA fighter and kickboxer David Murkowski. So, what's the matter? The crime, the tragedy happened back in May 2022, right in the center of Warsaw, on Nowy Świat Street. At that time, a 29-year-old local resident stood up for some girls who were being harassed by an aggressive group. A fight broke out during which Murkowski, an athlete and a role model for young people, delivered 6 blows to the man. The victim died. This happened 4 years ago. After the crime, the athlete fled from Poland to Turkey using his brother's passport. He was put on the international wanted list and was detained in Turkey in 2023. His transfer took a long time and he didn't reach Poland until late 2024. The Warsaw District Court convicted Murkowski of murder, sentencing him to 25 years and ordering him to pay 100,000 zlotys in compensation to the victim's family. That's a ridiculously small amount. Someone died, but the compensation is only 100,000 zlotys. Well, damn, even $1 million wouldn't be enough. His accomplices previously got 7 years each, imprisonment. Well, we'll see. Maybe if he has money, I think he'll find money for a lawyer and will appeal this sentence. So, friends, and to top it off, we have another diplomatic scandal. Yes. Here, amazing geopolitical somersaults and diplomatic maneuvers are happening right before our eyes. On June 11, the head of the office of the parliamentary faction of the Confederation of the Polish Crown, Piotr Kieshin, made a major breakthrough. He personally attended the official reception on the occasion of Russia Day at the Russian embassy in Warsaw. Moreover, he did not act on his own, but with direct coordination and under the careful guidance of the party leader, Grzegorz Braun. Well, you have to understand how it is. The guest list at the event was actually quite remarkable. Among the official guests at the reception was Mateusz Piskorski, the founder of the Zmiana party, who back in 2016 was detained by the Polish Internal Security Agency on very serious suspicion of espionage. So these guys really have no qualms. My God, what's going on here? I mean, I don't know, maybe we're getting paid here. Why can't we come visit our respected friends? In short, a very interesting group for discussing international issues. After a busy evening, Citizen Hessian didn't hold back and made quite a statement. Well, the main idea is that we should generally be friends with Russians, but when it comes to the current conflict, we need to remain impartial. Because moreover, party comrades looked at these points, nodded thoughtfully and said, yes, we have a balanced position. By the way, journalists asked whether Mr. Kieshin would like, for the sake of the same balance, to pay a courtesy visit to the Ukrainian embassy. They might also have something to say on this matter, but at this point, diplomacy was over. Some said the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs followed their colleagues' wishes too blindly, and there are ongoing ideological disagreements there. In short, friends, as an analyst of such a performance, I am amazed. But for the first time in many years, the current parliament is openly demonstrating such sympathies. Right at the moment when official reports from Polish counterintelligence in plain language, name the eastern neighbor as the main source of threat. So, in the Polish political and media spheres, there is such a confident wave of criticism, well, as they say, the caravan moves on while the dogs bark. Thanks for your attention, friends. I hope you can hear me and that this guy didn't disturb you. This guy is building something over there, drilling something. Well, it's already 10 in the morning, so it's okay to do some work. So take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Leave likes, write comments, and tell me which city you watched from. It's important. See you next time. That's all for today.